Greetings, dear viewers. This is going to be a League of Legends replay of a match that I played as Udyr in the jungle for the blue team here. I'm going to be accompanied by Orianna in the mid lane, Ashe and Alistar in the bot lane, and Teemo is going to round out our team in the top lane versus the opposing team here, the red team. There we go. Their team is going to be comprised of Caitlyn and Braum down in the bottom lane. Shaco is going top. Yasuo will be mid, and Xin Zhao is going to round out their team as my counterpart in the jungle. So that is the lineup there. Let's go ahead and get the game started. Since this is a replay, I can control camera speed, etc., etc. Right now we're going to lock the camera to Udyr, the champion that I'm playing, and we're going to speed things up just a little bit, get things rolling. I'm going to move out. I am learning Udyr. It takes a lot of games to really learn the champion. So I'm moving out through the bottom part of the jungle there, the red jungle on our team. And I place a ward over here. I like to place a ward in this location to get a good feel for where the opposing team might be starting their jungle or might not or what have you. It just gives me a little bit of information to start with. So I move back over to the Krugs area where my teammates hopefully are going to help me out. Looks like the enemy team or the opposing team here. Oh, they had a disconnect too. I didn't see a lot of this stuff. This is my first time really going through this replay, so some of this is going to be new to me. In any case, we're starting out, and the Krugs are going to spawn. The Krugs have spawned. I get my smite off. We're going to have our bot lane helping me out here, dealing some damage to the big Krug here, which I take out. I do go Phoenix stance first. I'm going Phoenix stance and focusing on Turtle stance. So this is going to be a Phoenix build, a split push build type of Udyr, but I do have the ability to get some ganks in. So we're going to start off again. This is the rotation we're going to go, or the route that we're going to go. We're going to go Krugs, then we're going to go red, and after that we're going to move over and hit Scuttle in this river, and then move all the way across to Gromp, and then we'll hit blue, and then we'll go from there. That's a decent little start that I've been going for recently. Let's go and speed things up, pick up this red buff, go and focus the camera on myself again. Put the focus on Udyr. I'm going to take out the Scuttle right now, too. This will give us some vision in the river. Also gives me 70 gold, just like that. Decent amount of experience, and that little speed buff to help me get across the map to the location that I want to be in. And now, like I said, we're just going to go hit up Gromp, and then we're going to hit up Blue. So for now, let's hit directed cam and see what the rest of the game is up to there. Yasuo takes first blood in the mid lane. So our team is already down a little bit. We're at a slight disadvantage because first blood gets 400 gold, whereas normally you would get 300 gold for a takedown or for a kill. And it looks like Xin Zhao is actually counter jungling me here at my Raptors while I'm doing my blue buff over here. So actually that's kind of clever. I don't know if that actually has any impact on my game at all, but I am sitting here taking out the blue buff or the blue golem. And I'm not sure if that gets me level 4 or not, but at level 4 I get my bear stance, and that gives me the capability to go for some ganks. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we have Alistar protecting Ashe over here with his, I believe it's called, what is that called? Pulverize? Yeah, he's protecting Ashe with Pulverize. I've finished up the blue buff, and now I'm moving over to the northern Scuttle. Again, I like to take out these Scuttles because they allow me to regain hit points with my lifesteal. They let me regenerate mana a little bit if I don't use any or too many abilities. I've got the blue buff to help regenerate that, and it gives us some vision in that area. Yasuo was going for, well, he looked like he was going for a kill mid lane, just judging by the map positioning. And then I move back into my jungle and start going for wolves. I guess I didn't get level 4 off of the blue golem nor off of the Scuttle. But once I do hit level 4, I do get bear stance, which gives me a gap closer and a stun, which again enables me to try and get some ganks. Looks like Braum's over here hitting Ashe with a little bit of a poke. Alistar jumps in, does another pulverize, gets both of them at the same time. Knocks them both up, so Ashe is able to sit back and free farm, while Caitlyn is trying to do the same. Now I'm moving through. Now I'm level 4. I've got my bear stance. I'm moving down through the southern jungle. There's only one thing that I could possibly do here, and I ping my team. I ping in the map, let my team know that I'm coming in for a gank. They don't see me with their ward. I move in. I get a stun off on Caitlyn. Let's go and slow this down a little bit here. Ashe gets her volley off, deals a lot of damage. I've got my Phoenix stance going, but Caitlyn uses her net to get some distance. Braum puts up his shield. That makes it very difficult for Ashe to get any projectiles through. So Ashe starts firing on the shield. I take a turret hit. I start moving out. Caitlyn is back in safety over here under turret range. Braum is trying to get his slow out, trying to get some CC on us while we're on the move. I have to get out of here because I've got 2 low hit points at this point. So, looks like Caitlyn also has to get out. It was an unsuccessful gank, but fortunately, we didn't give them any gold either. So now it's back into the jungle for me. I've got my blue buff. Actually, it looks like I'm turning around here. Which way am I going? I'm not even sure where I was headed in this direction. I think I might be heading into their jungle. Oh, right, I saw Xin Zhao up here. I saw him on the map. So knowing that he's not in a position to stop me from taking his jungle, I move over to the opposing jungle and start taking out his camps. They're taking out his jungle mobs because I know that he's top lane. I know that he's too far away to stop me. So I use that. I take that as an opportunity to go counter jungle him, so that if he gets here, he has no camps to take, and I've still got fresh camps of my own in these general areas. So I actually do smite the wolves up here, which gives me this little sentinel. If you smite wolves up here, it gives you a sentinel that watches the jungle area, so that'll help us keep a little bit of vision. I place a ward there as well, and begin to back so that I can go shop. And in the meantime, it looks like Teemo actually got ganked by Xin Zhao. By Shaco with Xin Zhao's help. Xin Zhao ganked him up top lane, so Shaco... Was it Shaco that got the kill? Let's see. No, Shaco did not get the kill. Xin Zhao got the kill. Okay, that's fine. Mid lane still under contention. Both of them are actually pretty decent hit points right now. Bottom lane, Caitlyn is at about, I don't know, we'd say 70 to 80% hit points right now. Ashe is a little lower, but Alistar's keeping her topped off, or trying to keep her sustained. I'm moving back into the jungle at this point, taking out the Krugs. I've picked up, for my items, I have picked up my Stalker's Blade. I like to get the Chilling Smite, the blue smite. Let me go ahead and focus this on myself here. I like to get the Chilling Smite. I picked up my Hunter's Potion, which is a refillable potion that gains more stacks every time you take out a jungle camp, up to 5. I picked up a Vision Ward, and I've got my boots. So basically everything that I need. The red team is pinging in this general area to let them know that they want to go for Orianna, but Orianna has a ward here. She knows what's coming. She's able to react in time. She moves and flashes, actually. She wasn't able to react in time. That is unfortunate. So my red buff is back up. I come back to my red buff. I start pounding it down with my Phoenix stance and toggling back and forth between Phoenix and Turtle stance for the protection. Turtle stance gives me a shield. Looks like Xin Zhao is taking out the Scuttle over here. Teemo is pinging that the enemy top laner is missing. He's actually right here. He just took out the Scuttle. And now it's time for me to get back on the move. Moving back to my jungle. I run right by Orianna. Yasuo's at a pretty good amount of hit points right now. He seems to be harassing Orianna very well. But their CS is pretty close, 50 to 44. So he's doing okay for being under such high pressure. Teemo again pinging the top lane, letting us know that the top laner is still missing. And it's Shaco, so he could be anywhere. So it's kind of dangerous, but I am still just farming in my jungle. Xin Zhao has taken his blue buff at this point, and the enemy bottom laners, the opposing bottom laners are moving in on our turret, but they decide to pull back. Instead of applying pressure to it, they decide to pull back. They want to place a ward. I guess they want to go back and shop at this point. I figured they might want to take out that turret while there was no defense there, but they've decided not to do that. Yasuo alone in lane now. Orianna had to go back to shop and to heal up. I'm coming along the top lane here, or through the top river. Yasuo sees me. He's got a ward at this point. He's going to throw a tornado my way. I'm just going to walk off. I figure he sees me, so it's time for me to get moving. Teemo's still back up here with Shaco. Teemo's CS at 46, Shaco's at 41. Teemo's actually winning that lane area, would be if it wasn't for Xin Zhao getting that gank early on. But he's still doing fairly well. My blue buff is back up, so I'm going to take out the blue buff. Meanwhile, Xin Zhao is taking out his wolves. He didn't get a smite, unless he did. Yeah, that's his. He did get a smite off on those wolves to watch his jungle. I've just picked up the blue buff. Yasuo still trying to apply some pressure to Orianna, defending himself with his wind wall down in the bottom lane. Looks like Alistar and Ashe are all alone, but they don't have the pressure on the turret that the opposing team did at the time. I, meanwhile, have run into... Let's go ahead and rewind that. Let's go ahead and hit pause. And we're going to jump back. I think it's backspace to do that. Yeah, we'll jump back. Alright, so in the meantime, while all that's going on, I've moved through the river and I'm taking a stroll towards Xin Zhao's jungle just so I can get a counter jungle. I don't know he's here, but I do spot him here. I use my bear stance to try and get a stun. I get the stun off before he gets his ult off and pushes me away, which allows me to close the gap and get a lot of damage off and take him down. So that was actually a pretty advantageous kill for us. My teammates are pinging this area, letting me know there might be danger, so I'm moving up this way to try and get away. But then I see Yasuo has returned to the mid lane on the map, so I know I don't have to go in that direction. There's no sense to move through here and maybe run into Shaco when I know it's safe to come back this way, so I come back this way. I place a pink ward in this middle brush right here to make sure there's no vision. And then, since I know that it's going to be a surprise, I begin moving towards Yasuo. Yasuo is moving through the southern river here, pinging for some help. And Alistar pushes him back into us. We're able to stun him. Orianna misses her ult. We're still moving in close. Yasuo jumps in. We're able to get a ton of damage off on him. Take out Yasuo. And now I'm stuck on Braum here. Gonna take out Braum while Alistar and Ashe chase after Caitlyn, weaken her up. So we've got Yasuo and Braum, and now we're gonna move over toward Caitlyn, who's taken a lot of damage. And I dived this turret right here. Let's go ahead and slow down. Go ahead and slow things down, and let's take a look at things a little bit more slowly in that team fight right there. We're taking out Braum. Braum goes down, and like I said, Ashe and Alistar moving in on Caitlyn. We're going to speed things back up to normal speed. They're going to get her under the turret. Alistar gets in and gets a slam pulverize off on her, which knocks her up. Then he gets out of dodge while the turret fires on him. While the turret is firing on him, I move under the turret range, knowing that she's nearly dead. I run in, get that melee hit. Ashe helps out as well, and I take a couple of turret hits, but we do get that turret kill. And so that lets me get off a decent amount of pressure. We were able to take out 4, I believe it was, 3 or 4 of the opposing team at that point. Xin Zhao is now applying some pressure over here to Orianna, trying to take her out. I move in, I get the stun off, but he still takes her out. Wait, actually, I didn't get the stun off. Let's take a closer look at that. Let's take a closer look. Let's see what happens here. So he's actually applying some pressure to Orianna here. She gets her shield off. I move in. Now let's see. I switch. Let's see. I get my melee attack off, but I don't think I was in bear stance at that point. That melee attack would have stunned him, and it might have saved Orianna, but I was in Phoenix stance instead. But I was... Okay, I just now switched to bear, and then I stunned him. Okay, so that's one thing that I'm getting a little bit of a closer look at. He knocked me up with his ability, but Ashe is providing some cover fire over here, over the wall. Because I'm right there, she has vision of him, and he was in range. So with Ashe's help, I'm able to take out Xin Zhao as well, putting me at 3-0-2 at this point. And I have a free scuttle because I know there's nobody to oppose me. Even though I'm at low hit points, I don't need to worry because nobody's going to come take me out at this point. So that's doing really well. If I press X on the keyboard here, we can see I've got 2,500 gold, and I'm still moving into the jungle. Still got decent hit points. I've still got good mana. I've got blue buff, so I'm going to make use of that. Take out these raptors over here. Yasuo is trying to take out our turret. I'm going to move in the direction of my northern jungle here to take out a couple more camps, using the various abilities that Udyr has, because he has this monkey's agility ability that whenever you use 3 of his abilities in succession, you get to move faster and attack faster. And as long as you keep that up, you can keep that movement speed and that attack speed. So it's kind of like twisting bard songs in EverQuest. If any of you ever did that, I'm not sure anybody who watches my channel. I'm not sure many who have watched my channel have actually ever twisted bard songs in EverQuest, but it's similar to that actually. So like I said, we're taking out this camp, and we're going to take out this Gromp as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to get a smite off on that, Teemo. Trying to poke a little bit at Shaco. Xin Zhao also in his jungle taking out his red buff, and I'm moving into the river over here to try and take out Scuttle. Or actually, no, I just pinged. I believe I just pinged in this direction. I'm not sure if that was me or not, but I'm trying to let Orianna know that I'm coming in for a gank. Moving that direction, use my bear stance to try and close the gap and get a stun off, but he's too far off, so he's able to get away. There's no need to stick around here at this particular point any longer. It looks like Yasuo's going to ward up his river. I'm going to hit B right here because I do have a lot of gold. I've got 2,900 gold at this point, so it's time to go shop. Down bot lane, we've got these two. Let's see what items I pick up. Let's see what items I pick up. I pick up a cloth armor, a sapphire crystal, and a vision ward. I also finished up my jungle item. I got runic echoes, which is a very powerful item on Udyr. It's got a lot of very good stats, it gives him a lot of capability in the jungle. Xin Zhao is actually trying to move into my jungle, but I've just cleared this out. So the best that he can do is get a ward off, because blue is gone, Gromp is gone. He's not even going to go check wolves, so he knows he's kind of in a danger zone there. I'm moving forward. There's a pink ward right here, so I know that there's no vision that can catch me. This ward can. I accidentally stepped on a trap here. Let's go ahead and slow down this team fight. Caitlyn gets a headshot up on me. I move in. I get a stun off on her. Alistar pulverizes near Braum to knock him up so that he can get underneath him. Knocks Braum back toward Ashe, actually. And I'm still trying to close the gap on Caitlyn here. I've got my Phoenix stance going, put up my turtle shield. I pull back because there's a trap, there's the turret. So I decided it's time for us to hit Braum instead. I stun him because Braum was the one that was really far back. I probably should have turned on Braum a long time ago. We should have focused one of these two either way. So we don't end up getting the kill. I take a lot of damage here. Caitlyn's still taking pot shots at me. Getting some decent damage off. Ashe gets off one more auto attack, and I have to pull back. But that's okay. This is keeping them honest. Even though we didn't get any kills or anything down here, it's keeping them honest. It's letting them know that I'm not afraid to gank. We've got two opposing team mates over here, two opposing team members, counter-jungling me at this point, and I'm moving in that direction. And there's a fight going to break out right here between Teemo and Xin Zhao, but Teemo makes short work of him. I do smite the red buff right here to get that huge heal, the smiting red buff that the smiting the Brambleback will give you. Teemo trying to fire on Yasuo, getting some good damage off as well. Yasuo gets wall up too late, and the Teemo's actually able to finish him off. It looked like Alistar was going to, but Teemo was the one that took the kill there, I believe. And now another fight breaking out in the river. I am exhausted at this point. I move back in. I get a stun off. Here comes Caitlyn's ult. I put up my turtle shield to block all the damage, pretty much. And we still have Alistar roaming around with 3 of them near him. I move in, I put my bear stance up, I stun Shaco, and then I get some distance to try and get away. I'm just trying to get the stun off to try and save Alistar. Orianna comes in, places a shield on him. There's now 4 of us here versus the 3 of them. I'm going to speed things up a little bit, and it looks like they're going to split up, and we're all going to do our own thing, but Orianna gets into another skirmish here with Shaco. Shaco is being forced to back off, being pinged to back off by his team right there. So we've got a lot going on. Ashe moves up and actually takes a knife from Shaco, and that ends her. So we got Xin Zhao over here. And meanwhile, we're taking out this turret. Xin Zhao's going to come to try and defend this turret right now. We have Teemo here to do a little bit of range damage to it. Xin Zhao's a little bit hesitant to come and engage upon us until Yasuo gets here. And then Yasuo starts charging in, and the 3 of us have to retreat. We don't really want to engage at this point. I don't have the hit points nor the mana for it, so we all just decide to take off. I don't really have a very tanky build going on at this particular point. My only tank item is a cloth armor, so it's not like I can tank for my team at this particular point. My build is going to be focused around split pushing. So while I'm taking blue buff, it looks like we've got some action going on in the mid lane. Teemo applying some pressure to Yasuo, putting some poison on him and such. And I'm moving up north because I know we see that there's a lot going on down here, so I'm going to use my split pushing right now. Like I said, I'm going for a split push build, so it's good to play a split push strategy. So knowing that there's a whole lot going on in the bottom half of the map, I decided to come put pressure on this top turret. Might even take it out at this point. Trying to take out... I don't have a whole lot of pushing power because I don't get Tiger Stance. I don't get Tiger Stance in this build until very, very late, so I can't auto-attack those turrets really quickly. So I focus on the minions instead and let my minions do a lot of damage. Shaco does get here in time to run me off. He does take off a whole lot of hit points from my bar there. So I get out of there. But there's no reason for me to actually go back at this particular point. There's still objectives for me to capture. And I do move pretty quickly, and I do have my flash up. Actually, no, my flash is down. But I do move pretty quickly. Yasuo jumping into the mid lane here, taking out Orianna, while Xin Zhao is warding our jungle and counter-jungling me. He actually counter-jungled me a lot more than I thought this game. I see Yasuo try and take out this turret. I rush in with my bear stance, run him off. Take out this wave of minions right here. Stun him before he can get another auto attack off on the turret. He attacks the turret again anyway, so I'm getting a ton of damage on him. He uses his wind wall to try and block my attacks, but I don't have any ranged attacks. I stun Xin Zhao underneath the influence of the turret. He takes a lot of damage. I smite him to slow him down. Yasuo taking out some more of our minions here. I would have loved to engage upon them, but they do have a lot of damage. My only objective here was to save the turret, and that's exactly what I did. Yasuo would have gotten that if I hadn't held both of them off from taking this turret. Now I use my bear stance to get moving quickly again through the river. Or not, we turn back around. Ashe is right here. She pinged this turret as if she wants to take it down. I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. I'm moving into their jungle. I don't actually see anything worthwhile there. I get some pings, and now we're going to take out... I remember why I moved into that jungle there, because I saw them in that general area. I wanted to check to see if they were actually there. Ashe gets an arrow off. I decided to focus on that. I decided to capitalize on that. Run in, get a stun, turn on my Phoenix Stance, deal a lot of damage to Xin Zhao, finish him off underneath the turret, and then we're able to take the middle turret out. Meanwhile, up at the top lane, Teemo, very low hit points, is just farming up some minions. Shaco is just spawning at their base. And in the bottom lane, we've got some trouble as Alistar comes to try and defend this turret. Turret gets a pot shot off on Ashe. Orianna is moving down bot lane to try and pincer attack these two. She moves in. She actually is in a little bit of a precarious position, which is why I'm coming down here. I'm coming down here to give her some assistance right now. Caitlyn gets a net off from the bush. Let's go ahead and slow this down. I stun Braum. Start getting some damage off on him, and as soon as Alistar pushes Caitlyn in my direction, I change targets and switch over to Caitlyn. She has far fewer hit points, and she's much more valuable of a target. Orianna uses her ultimate, pulls some targets back into one central location. I'm still focusing here on Caitlyn. Orianna gets taken down by Shaco. I stun Caitlyn and then get off another auto attack to finish her off with my Phoenix AoE. Now we're moving through the brush. Shaco's headed my way. He does a little duplicate type thing here. I'm trying to run through these 3 enemy targets here. I'm going to use my bear stance. No, I'll use my Phoenix stance. Bear stance would have been a better idea there. I use Phoenix just so that I can maintain the movement speed, and then I switch over to for the shield. A bear stance would have been more ideal so that I could close the gap. I get just that little bit of a hop when stunning Braum. But I do get out of there. And the bot lane still is under a little bit of duress here, but not a whole lot because we do have Ashe and Alistar there to defend the turret. I decided to go back to jungling. I'm at low hit points, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's time for me to go back. Teemo catches Yasuo here with a mushroom. The mushroom slows him down. Ashe gets an auto attack off, which slows him down even further. A hawkshot gives us some vision in this general area to see what's going on. And it looks like we decide not to engage from here. Xin Zhao waiting in this bush right here, seeing if he can ambush anybody as they come by through the river. I don't fall for it. I move straight into the mid lane. He's going to try and head toward my direction. No, he waits there in the brush while I take out these targets. He's going to try and flank me here, but it's not going to be enough. I decide to use my Monkey's Agility passive here, stack those up with all three of my stances, and get moving throughout the river. Moving very quickly at this particular point. 454 movement speed, and that's without the Monkey's Agility buff on me. I think that's the case, right? Let's see. If I have Monkey's Agility, yeah, that actually goes even higher, I think. No, I think that was correct. Either way, I've got a lot of movement speed whenever I use Monkey's Agility, so I can actually get through jungles and rivers and all that very easily. So while I'm top lane pressing against the turret, because I know there's a whole lot going on, again, using the minimap, I see that there's a whole lot going on down bot lane, so I figure it's a good opportunity to come press the enemy top lane. And I am able to get a tower. Xin Zhao jumps me here. I stun him and flash, and then Monkey's Agility is going to be enough to get me away from him. He knows he can't catch me. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Caitlyn gets a kill. And they have to back off from our turret, unfortunately. Hopefully our minions are enough to hold this, but I don't think so. I think these two are actually going to get our bottom turret. So it's a good thing I got that top turret, because it looks like we're going to trade turrets in this game. Shaco's coming back from their base. Xin Zhao is pressuring our top turret up here. Orianna is going to get moving in that direction. I don't think, however, she's going to help defend it. I am healed up. I'm coming back. I've purchased some more items. I've got my Iceborne Gauntlet. I'm starting to build my Zerot Portal, or whatever it's called. ZZ-Rot, as some would call it. And Orianna actually turned around before getting to the top turret. She probably could have helped to defend it, but that's okay. I came here as quickly as I could. I got here just a few seconds too late. We're getting some pings from Shaco, letting his teammate know that he's coming to assist him. I back off. I didn't know that anybody was coming, but I figured it was a possibility. So I go check into their jungle. I see Shaco is in there, and then I just head out using my Monkey's Agility. Right now the game is at 11-11, and the opposing team just took out Dragon. And they've got 2 of our turrets. And we've got 2 of their turrets as well. So it's a pretty even game, because we're 1 kill up, but they're a dragon up. So there is that. Oh, I think they have 3 of our turrets. Yeah, they've got 3 of our turrets, we've got 2 of their turrets. Ashe is getting slow off here on Caitlyn. They can't actually... Alistar's doing the same thing he did to help me get a kill earlier, but it doesn't work quite so well in this situation. We are now 14-2. Ashe gets taken down. And the opposing Shaco is on a rampage at this point, flashing his mastery icon there. A little bit of a BM move, but if that's not why Riot put it in there, I don't know why else they would have. Pressing up in the middle lane here with my Phoenix stance. Turning on my turtle shield. Shaco seems to be alone, so I decided to put some pressure on him. He comes to attack me, but I'm not really too worried about him, so I stunned him, dealt a lot of his hit points, and then he was forced to turn around. Now he's got some assistance coming from the mid lane, so it's time for me to get out of here and move into their jungle. Again, because I move so quickly, especially with these Boots of Swiftness equipped now, since I move so quickly, I can get into the jungle, I can take out objectives, I can clear wards, I can place wards of our own. Being very quick, well, agile, as it is Monkey's Agility. Being very quick and agile. Ooh, Yasuo getting a lot of damage off on Orianna over here. Being very quick and agile, I'm able to move through the jungle. I have a lot of map control as Udyr, and that's the whole point of this build, because it does get a ZZ-Rot portal, which lets me do some split pushing and things like that. Yasuo is going for a kill in the mid lane. He's getting a little greedy here. Or not, he's just putting some pressure on. I do encounter Xin Zhao in their jungle. I smite him, I stun him, I'm starting to deal a good bit of damage. He knocks me up to try and slow me down a little bit. He's got a turret here to protect him. I block the turret hits with my turtle shield. Caitlyn is doing some damage to me. Alistar coming in to assist me at this particular point. Pulverizes Braum. We got 4 of the opposing team closing in on us. Alistar gets hit by their ult. He uses his ult, however, and is absorbing a lot of their damage. Knowing that he can do this, I decide to dash in. and try and get some stuns off. I stunned Yasuo right there. Let's go ahead and slow this down. Orianna gets her ult off on 3 of them. At this point, I know it's a perfect opportunity for me to pop my Phoenix. So I use my Phoenix ability to deal a lot of AoE damage to the opposing team, which Orianna had just rounded up for me. The result of that is I get to take down Xin Zhao, and now it's time for me to get out of town because I have low hit points. They know I'm there. They're focusing on me. I turn and get an auto attack and a stun off on Braum, and then I get a little bit more distance, dodge Caitlyn's Q, put up my shield. Ashe is coming in. I'm gonna get hit by Caitlyn's ult. It doesn't deal a whole lot of damage to me. Now that Ashe is here, however, I can close in, get a Phoenix shot, or get a Phoenix auto attack off after Ashe gets her shot off. And there are 3 traps for me to avoid here. I run between them. And we've got some opposing. All right. Watch this real quick. Watch this. I want to show this. Let's go and get to this one part. Got some opposing teammates that were up against us there. Here we go. We're gonna do this. Now I'm gonna move between these traps, right? And Yasuo's gonna come in, and I want to show you something. I know Yasuo is coming in, so I'm going to move up to this point, and then I'm gonna move back into this bush or toward this bush just before he gets his Q off, before he gets his stab. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to juke them at this point because I do have low hit points. Again, I'm not extremely tanky. I do have my W, which will give me a shield, but I'm not extremely tanky, so I'm trying to juke out some abilities, trying to make them second guess what I'm doing. I'm trying to make them guess whether or not I'm actually going to engage or what have you. So we're going to see that come into play here. I'm going to move up a little bit, and then I'm going to pull back right there just before he gets his stab off. If I would have kept going, he may very well have stabbed me right there, but I pulled back at just the right instant, so I was able to draw out I was able to feint them, basically, and draw out an attack, and this gives us a little bit of an advantage. So I dodge into the bush, kind of make them second guess a little bit here, and I come back out, he gets another Q off. Just as he finishes it up, I'm able to get my triple kill off on him, despite being very low hit points throughout most of this fight. And now Caitlyn is on the move, gets shut down by a pulverize, and Orianna's, I believe it was auto attack or something to finish her off. So that aces the opposing team. Now, if you would like, what I would like is I'd like to not commentate that fight and just let's just watch it play out, right? Let's just see what happens here. Gonna focus on me. Okay, there's all this stuff going on at this point. All right, and now we're going to normal speed, and here's this middle of the river team fight here. Again, trying to juke out. Oh wait, what's going on here? I wanted to focus on me. Let's back up. There we go. Not directed cam. Going to focus on Udyr at this point. Alistar coming out of the brush there with his ult, having just run out. Stunning Yasuo. There is that huge damage ult that Orianna gets off. It wasn't huge damage itself, but it let us get a lot of damage off on them while they were grouped. It doesn't look like a whole lot is going. It doesn't look like as much as I said was going on, but all that is going on during all of this. There's the triple. Alistar for the pulverize, and Orianna to finish off. All right. The opposing team is aced. And now let's do some speed up. Knowing that they have nobody up, it's time to take some objectives. When the opposing team cannot defend their objectives, that's when you take their objectives. I do take a turret hit, but we're going to pressure this turret. Most likely take it down with this many minions. The 2 of us auto-attacking it. They've got Xin Zhao coming in. We might actually not get this tower. Xin Zhao jumps in. Alistar pulverizes. I get the stun off. I take some turret damage. I flash out so that I don't get taken down by a few more turret hits. Alistar is slowed. Xin Zhao's going to close the distance. I'm not afraid to go engage and try and help him out. I go stun him. Alistar gets a heal off. Braum's coming back in to assist Xin Zhao. Alistar pops his ult again to absorb a ton of damage. I put up my turtle shield to absorb some damage myself. I'm getting some distance. Alistar pulverizes to save me there, to prevent them from getting the takedown. And then they jump in, and they're able to finish off Alistar. So he did a very good job with that. Caitlyn's ult. Oh! I forgot about that. All right, let's get back to that point. All right, whoa. Let's get back to that point. And now we've got Caitlyn's ult right here. There's Caitlyn. She's aiming her sniper rifle. I can't really get a good angle on her, but she's because of Braum's shield. But she's aiming her sniper rifle at me. That's that red line. It's targeted on me. This will definitely take me out. But we've got Orianna moving in this direction as well. And now I maneuver myself so that the shot. Boom! Oriana was low hit points as well, so Oriana takes the hit for me. Now, that was just, I don't know, man. I wanted to survive, so I kind of threw Oriana in the way of the thing for me. Okay, in my defense, I was already just moving this direction as quickly as I could, so, I mean, there's that. And secondly, Oriana brings up a good point. I'm not sure if it comes out in all chat at this point. I think we all decide to laugh at that, though. We all get a good laugh at that. I don't think chat shows up in the replays, though. But both teams are laughing at that in chat at this point. But Oriana in team chat brings up a good point. I do have like a 400 gold bounty on me because I, at this point, am at 8-0-4. So if she would have gotten that takedown on me, that would have given Caitlyn a lot of gold. So it's better that they actually peg Oriana at that point. So I mean that's it's just funny to see it happen. It's like one of those spur of the moment things. It's one of those things that only happens in League of Legends. So we got 3 of them pressuring our bottom turret, but meanwhile Teemo is pressuring their top turret. I am down here facing Caitlyn, getting a stun off on her. I'm not afraid of Braum, so I charge straight in at Caitlyn. I'm not really afraid of Caitlyn's damage at this particular point either, but I should be because there's a lot of damage coming in. And now Ashe with a long-range arrow stuns Braum. Alistar pushes him back. I stun lock him as well using my bear stance. We continually keep him slowed and stunned and pulverized and all kinds of good stuff. So Braum's actually in a bad position here. Caitlyn had to leave him behind, which was the right thing to do, otherwise we probably would have taken out 2 of them. So we do take out Braum with a lot of help from teammates. They've counter-jungled me, so let's go ahead and pop that one little jungle creep right there and get that spawn on its respawn timer. Gonna hit directed cam, see what directed cam deems worthy of watching. Gets Caitlyn picking off some minions down there in the bottom lane. Alistar runs in from behind, gets a slam off, a headbutt off. And that's enough for Ashe to finish off Caitlyn pretty easily. Caitlyn farming all on her own. This Alistar has actually been very, 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 very good in this game at just playing Alistar, playing a support, and just playing solid League of Legends. Very good Alistar player, very good stuff. Xin Zhao at his red buff, smiting it actually, that's peculiar. I just finished taking out my blue buff, and now I'm clearing out the rest of my jungle. It's good for gold, good for experience, etc., etc. Down bottom lane, we have Ashe and Alistar pressuring their bot turret, which is the one we tried to take out earlier. Shaco comes in and gets a lot of damage off on Ashe. Alistar gets his heal off. It's not enough to save Ashe, however. Alistar pops his ultimate ability at this point and is able to get a pulverize off. His ult lets him absorb so much damage. It's absolutely crazy, but his ult does run out. He gets his heal off, and now we see Yasuo throwing a tornado over at Oriana, getting a lot of damage in. I come to assist. I stun him. He puts a wind wall up toward me, but I'm a melee champion, so it doesn't really do much. Oriana does get taken out by Yasuo. She really shouldn't have stayed in melee range all that long. She could have backed off while I had him stunned and been perfectly safe. I chase Yasuo toward their jungle here, and it turns out that there's a whole team, basically, all but one of them, and I do actually get shut down at that point. Now, the red team is pinging Dragon so that they can take it out and secure another one. They've got the only other dragon in this game. So that is their second. Again, the score is 22-22. We have 4 towers. They have 3. We've taken out 4 of their towers. They've taken out 3 of our towers. But they've got 2 dragons. Again, a very, very even game at this point. The gold count is very close as well. 46.4 and then 46.6. Very close. Oh, Ashe! Ashe just walks by. Yasuo is going to come try and get some damage off on her, being closed in upon by Yasuo and Xin Zhao. Alistar headbutts in and pulverizes to knock him up. It's not enough, though. They're able to knock him back towards some friendlies of their own, some more red team members. Oriana throws her ball in there, gets some damage off. Looks like Alistar can get a headbutt, knock Xin Zhao away. And now I close in this fight. I stun and deal a lot of damage to Xin Zhao. Caitlyn gets a kill on Oriana. I take out Xin Zhao at this particular point. And now we've got 2 low enemy champions and Caitlyn. But Caitlyn's pegging me from over the wall. I've got to flash and get away. Got to try and get away as quickly as I can. I learned my lesson from having dealt with 3 or 4 of them just a few minutes ago, or just a minute ago. And I'm not going to stick around to try and get a kill at this point. I used that lesson to keep myself alive here and just get a lot of movement speed and get out of there. That flash was actually what got me the head start so that I could keep moving. So now I'm taking a little bit of a risk. I don't know if they're still in this top jungle or not. I knew they were low hit points, so I figured it might be okay for me to not back off. Even though I've got low hit points, I figured it's a good idea for me to push this lane. Kind of a gamble, but it turns out to be a good one. And it was mostly safe anyway, because I could have still run away if any of them had decided to come try and ambush me. I did have a lot of movement speed, so it's good for me to go ahead and do this. Ooh, Ashe gets an ult off on Shaco, who teleports behind her and deals a ton of damage, and then not spams, but then he shows off his mastery emote to say, "Screw you, Ashe. I'm better than you." It's basically what he was getting at. And I'm still pushing bot lane. I've got my ZZ Rot portal down in this bush here, which generates little minions, or I'm not sure what those actually are, but it generates little minions for us. And they move up along with our minions to try and push the lane. But Caitlyn's got a solid wall of traps set up here. I've said, you know what, I'm just going to get out of here. I'm not going to contest that. We do have the minions and the ZZ Rot portal minions pushing at this point, so that buys me a little bit of time. I'm going to take that opportunity to come take care of Scuttle, which again will give us vision here in the river, and that's just extremely useful. It's good to, it's sort of like a ward, so it's good to have there. And of course it gives us that speed shrine. The majority of the enemy team, actually no, just one or two of the enemy team, is here in the top lane. Alistar is closing in. He knows he has Orianna coming to assist, as well as Teemo. Orianna gets an ult off, kind of pushes Xin Zhao away with it, though. Mushroom pops on the opposing team's minion wave right there, minion line. They got a ward here. They see me actually taking their Gromp, and looks like Shaco's going to want to try and come in and attack me. I take a hit, and then I turn around the other direction, and again start building up that movement speed by spamming abilities. And I'm able to get out of their jungle just because my movement speed is way too fast for them. As I move toward the middle of the map, I do have Orianna here to support me, so they have to turn around. The entirety of the enemy team now is essentially in the center of the map, with Yasuo breaking off, going toward the top lane there where Teemo is. He saw him using his ward, gets his wind wall off, Teemo turns around and gets out of there. Meanwhile, I'm down bot lane, trying to taking out the red buff here. Again, just for gold, for experience. Plus it gives me that red buff. It's good to have that because it helps in fights. Teemo is going to move into the brush, gets a mushroom off. He is stealthed now. They can't see him. Oh, but they can now. He moves out. And he gets out of there. Seeing a team fight brewing, I move through this northern jungle and intercept Yasuo, get a stun off on him, hold him still long enough for us to get the damage that we need to take him down. We do shut him down, and now this team fight is broken out, but I'm focusing on Caitlyn. I want her out of the fight, so I stun her, I start pounding her. She moved herself against this wall, so I expected that flash, and now we have Braum and Xin Zhao moving in toward me. I pop my turtle stance, I get stunned, I get knocked up. Here comes her ult. I shield it again with my turtle stance, and then get out of there with a lot of hit points. And now my teammates are actually on the way. Now that's one important thing. Let me go ahead and back up here before this fight actually breaks out. Let's go ahead and see this part. And as I'm moving, I'm going to slow things down. I'm going to shield that. Now, as I'm moving through here, my only thought right now is, or my only objective is to get away and then move down here, maybe take out these, and maybe start moving through here. But my only objective at this point is to disengage from these three who are attacking me. I just want to disengage at this point. That's it. That's my whole point. So I'm moving over here, but you hear those pings? You can see them on the map, those little blue arrows. Those pings are coming from my teammates who are moving through the river. I didn't realize that they were here at the time, but they pinged to communicate to me, to let me know that they were on their way. So now my objective changes. Knowing that they're on their way, I move just a little bit further, and they're pinging for me, they're letting me know. I turn around, knowing that Alistar is nearby, knowing that my team is on the way. I turn around, I get a stun off, or I get my Phoenix off. I do get knocked off a little bit here, but I put my turtle shield up to try and sustain, and then Braum gets his ultimate off to knock us up a little bit here, but we've got Alistar, we've got the entirety of my team showing up, who, Ashe gets off a volley, my team gets off a ton of damage. I believe I took out Xin Zhao there, and because of those pings, we were able to turn that around, and that was just a very, very good fight for us. We got a couple of takedowns. Caitlyn was no longer following in that fight for their team. She was up here. She decided to back off because I was running away. She didn't have the auto attack range on me. She only had ult range on me, and the ult didn't do too much. Alistar jumps in, pulverizes her. My objective, of course, is to take out this tower. I do have my Tiger Stance at this point to increase my attack speed a little bit, so we can push that tower. And now it's time for me to head up. And now it's we're pinging for Baron at this point, because we do have 3 of the opposing team down. We counter jungle their red before we make our way over to Baron. There's only 3 of them up at this point. Alistar has used his red ward here, used his stealth clearing ward, or sorry, his red trinket to make sure there are no wards in the Baron pit. So the opposing team has no vision that we're doing this. We are attacking Baron, and we take it out. Yasuo probably had somewhat of an inkling that we were doing that, so we started to move up in that direction, but then it was announced that we took out Baron, so he turned around. He's heading into our southern jungle. I, meanwhile, have moved up to the top lane with the Baron buff to empower these minions so that we can get pushing. I put down my ZZ Rot portal again here in this brush, so now we've got empowered minions from the Baron buff, and we've got ZZ Rot portal minions, plus my Phoenix stance pushing all the way through the top lane here. Those minions are going to head over there and take out that tower or deal a ton of damage to it. I B, and we go back to the fountain over here. Let's see how well these minions do. They deal a lot of damage. They're starting to pound on this tower. The opposing team trying to take them out, but nope, the minions are actually able to take it out. The red team is closing in on Dragon. We've got Yasuo and Shaco moving toward Dragon here, and Alistar taking out the deployables that Shaco can throw down. We do have some friendly pings saying that we're on their way. I believe that's my own ping, actually, saying that I'm going to go help with Dragon. We've got 2 opposing team members over here, and Xin Zhao in the mid lane, so that's 3 of them that aren't at Dragon. Meanwhile, we've got the majority of our team, actually our whole team, here at Dragon. Shaco has to get out of there. We're dealing a lot of damage to Dragon at this point, and with a smite, I'm able to take the Dragon down. So that's our first Dragon of this game. Yasuo waiting in the bush. I'm not sure what he's waiting for. If he decided to jump out, he would just get his ass kicked, because there's way too many of us here at this point. I'm closing in, trying to go for Shaco. There is no tower here to defend him. He teleports away and stealths, so I'm not able to get to him. The opposing team is grouped up here, and Yasuo is still waiting. He looks like he's trying to get himself into position for a flank, because he was standing right here before, so he moved up right here. He knows that we're in this general direction, so he's probably trying to get a flank off. Teemo moves up and hides in this brush. Takes a look around, places a mushroom at a choke point, which is a good place for him to put them. It's actually not a mushroom in this skin, is it? It's some sort of device. But, you know, they're mushrooms by default. So my team here is in the middle lane, and they're empowering these minions. But one good thing to do when you have Baron for your team, while this team fight breaks out, one good thing to do while you have Baron with your team is to split push, because then you can have empowered minions in the mid lane, and you can have empowered minions in another lane. So I'm empowering these minions to take out that push right here, and I, meanwhile, am pushing the actual next minion wave. Once these minions do get here, they too will be empowered, and we'll be able to take out some enemy structures. Meanwhile, in mid, there's a fight brewing. I started moving toward this fight not too long ago, but seeing that my team had it under control, I moved back to the top lane. Teemo secures a triple kill. Alistar closing in on Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao's going to get into his base, however. But knowing that my team had that under control, I moved back to the top lane, empowering these minions now with the Baron buff, and dropping my ZZ Rot portal, so we have all that pushing power. Moving in, and we can see here, red team agreed to a surrender with 4 votes against 1. So blue team takes it down, which would be our team. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I certainly had a lot of fun. A lot of really good stuff going on in this game. A lot of good stuff to talk about, which is one of the reasons that I wanted to put it up. That, and I did really well this game, so it's fun. I am learning Udyr. So, yeah, the opposing team surrendered. We were able to take it down because of all the pressure we were putting on them. It was a very even fight for the most part. But, at the end of this game, we walk away with a victory. Alright, once again, hope you folks enjoyed this. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.